Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Happy Friday. This is the day, the Friday that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. So if you are coming on while we are live right now, please do me a favor. I want you to hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody, and let them know Mr. Next Level himself, the millionaire mogul, Prophet Ramon Preston, and the squad. We are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Today is Friday, May 6th, 2022. Friday, May the 6th. And we are preparing for an extraordinary Mother's Day weekend. This is a very important weekend for so many billions of people around the world. And we want to make sure that we leave you with some good information as you prepare to celebrate Mother's Day this weekend. So please do me a favor. If you're coming on, hit the like button, hit the share button, tag somebody, text somebody, tweet somebody. If you got another phone, call somebody and let them know your boy is live on the Ramon Preston Show today and that we are literally live. It's Friday, May the 6th, 2022, and have an extraordinary conversation I want to have with you today. So please hit the like button, hit the share button. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube page, please subscribe to my YouTube page. All right. We are working on getting to 10,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers. And I think we have somewhere around 7.2 thousand subscribers. Okay. So we have close to 7,200 subscribers, and we want to get to 10,000 subscribers. My ultimate goal is to have 10 million, but at least for this year, we're working on getting it 10,000, and then when we get to 10,000, we're going to see if we can get to 100,000. So please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube page, share the content that we are giving away for free on this page with everyone that you know, especially the people who you know really needs to learn more about business. They want to learn about how to start businesses, how to structure them, how to scale them. They want to learn about processes and systems, all the things that we teach about on this show, we provide for free, and it is a great resource for a lot of people. So please do so. Also, make sure you put in the comments what city you're watching me from. Let me know what city you're watching me from. Okay, I would love to know what city you are watching your boy from. You know, I want to know. I want to know. Our community wants to know. We have people literally from all over the world. Definitely people from all over the United States of America who watch the Ramon Preston Show. Even though it may not look like it, a lot of times if you're on live, we may have a handful or two handfuls or maybe 30 or 40 people at some points live on the show. But we have thousands of people throughout the course of a week and throughout the course of a month who watch our videos, who get information from our channel, and who really use it to better themselves and to better their businesses. So I'm extremely grateful. I'm thankful. I'm honored. I want to say thank you to all of you that watch the Ramon Preston Show, to all of you that are a part of one of our 5 signature programs. We have 5 signature programs. We have the Millionaire Blueprint. That's our online business and financial training program. We have the Millionaire Mentorship program, which is an accelerated coaching and consulting program that we have for our clients. We have a business certification for coaches and consultants. We have the all-new Business Incubator, which is a consulting and capital program where my team and I not just coach you from the sideline, but we actually become a part of your staff. We become a part of your team. We work with you to make sure that you have the right structure, the right systems, the right processes, and we help you integrate them into your business. We help configure them. It's an amazing program. And then, of course, we have our licensing program. I'm so thankful because we have clients, people like you, who represent all 5 of our signature programs. And so I want to say thank you to every one of you who has trusted me and my team to serve you in business and in your financial success. So thank you so much. Thank all of you that follow us, that watch us, that share our videos, that like our videos, that comment, that give us feedback. I am extremely, extremely thankful. I'm grateful. I'm humbled. I'm appreciative. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. I am your host, Ramon Preston, and every Monday through Friday, like today, Friday, May the 6th, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, with the exception of me being late or out of town. For the most part, every Monday through Friday, we show up here on this show live to share information with you that we know can help you properly start, structure, and scale your businesses, your ministries, your income streams, and your wealth building dreams. Whether you're trying to properly file and form a holding company, whether you have a LLC, but you don't know if it's structured correctly, whether you have ideas that you want to turn into products and services. Maybe you already have a business system set up. You just don't have your operating systems, your financial systems, your sales and marketing systems, or processes with those systems. Everything that we share with you on this show is a direct extension of my life. It's a representation of who I am and what I live by, but it's also a representation of our organizational enterprise, whether it's our consulting division, our coaching division, or our training division, and maybe a little bit of all of the above. We make sure that the information we share with you on this show, we have over 1,400 videos just on YouTube alone. A lot of those videos are about holding companies, about divisions, about financial strategies, about systems and processes, about goal setting, about scheduling. And this information is valuable. So today, guess what I want to do? I want to talk to you about how to go from a side hustle to a success story. How do you actually go from having a side hustle into really creating a success story? That's what I want to talk to you about today. And I have quite a few points that I want to make, quite a few things that I want to share. Now, if you do have questions, it will be easier for you to put those questions in the comments, particularly on YouTube. So I have my phone in front of me. We are still working on some of the technological capabilities within our studio to be able to have you call in and to give you the opportunity to converse. But until that time comes, right now, we are taking questions out of the comments. And a lot of times, if we're not able to get to the questions, I'll come back the next day, or in this case, today is Friday. So Monday, I'll come back and I'll answer whatever questions that we missed. My team and I, we do our due diligence to cover those questions and to make sure that we give you the answers that you need. Okay, so if you're on YouTube in particular, feel free to drop the questions in the comments. Now, if you're watching us streaming live on Facebook, it will be easier for you to give us the question on YouTube, because it's hard for me to jump back and forth, especially when I'm doing what I'm doing here in terms of teaching you and giving you the game, okay? But today I want to talk to you about how to go from side hustle to success story. Now, I don't know if you've been watching the news. I don't know how close you follow a lot of the economic information that comes out. I follow a lot of the information that comes out, especially when it's with regard to business and finance and economics. I'm just fascinated with it. You know, for me to do what I do here every day on the show, I predominantly talk about business and finance and economics and wealth building and investing, really because I love it. I'm fascinated with it, and I have like an affinity for business. I've always wanted to be a business owner. I always saw myself as a business owner. I always wanted to be the guy to have a suite, you know, in a high rise like I do, and I did not necessarily see myself coming in on Fridays wearing some of my apparel, but at least it's my apparel, I own it. So when I have the hoodie on and the hat on, I'm either having a bad hair day, I didn't want to shave and do anything with my hair because I was busy brain dumping into some information, or I just wanted to chill out. And when you are the boss, when you have built a successful business, you have those moments that you can do that. Now, most days I'm not dressed like this, okay? Most days you're gonna see me with my signature blue suits on, maybe a white shirt or a black shirt. I literally wear that every day and can wear it every day because I love to feel good about myself. I love to look good. I love to present myself for who I know I am. I'm that person to me, and I know I want to be that person to you. Now, with that being said, just recently, there was a report, just recently, within the last couple of days, there was a report that approximately 4.5 million people literally quit their jobs. And I believe the report was saying that this was the data that they gathered from the month of March. So I believe this happened in the month of March 2022. So just in March alone, these economists and experts and people who gather data, they said that there were approximately 4.5 million people in the month of March who quit their job. Can you imagine that? I mean, that's a lot of people. And I think when I was reading into one of the reports, they were saying that with 4.5 million people leaving their jobs, literally quitting in the month of March alone, that took the open employment rate, or the rate that people are looking for employees, to about 11 or 12 million. So basically there are about 11 or 12 million vacancies in the workplace. Can you imagine that? In 1 month, 4.5 million people quit their jobs. Now, of course, it may be for different reasons. Some people quit their jobs because they have a spouse that can take care of them, or that's the breadwinner. Some people quit their jobs because they got enough savings, they got some money in their 401k, maybe they hit the lottery, or different reasons. You know, some people quit their job because they feel like with the COVID and with the pandemic, they don't want to be in person around people who are getting sick still, and potential new viruses are showing up. So some people quit their jobs for whatever the reasons are. It could be religious reasons, it could be health reasons, it could be family reasons, it could be children reasons. It may not necessarily be a financial issue to them to quit their jobs, but for 4.5 million people to quit their jobs in 1 month alone, we're talking about in the month of March alone, it's only May, and now we've had over 4.5 million people to just quit their jobs in 1 month. Then guess what I know? I know out of this 4.5 million people, a lot of these people probably want to own their own businesses. Can we all agree on that? Do you think out of 4.5 million people that there are some people who want to own their own businesses? As a matter of fact, I would love to know from you. You might not have the math, you might not have any studies or surveys, but just a guesstimation. If you had to guess, how many people out of the 4.5 million, in terms of maybe percent or numbers, do you think would probably be entrepreneurial? How many of these people do you think may be entrepreneurial? I'll probably say maybe 20%. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I've done no studies on that part, so I'm just guessing. I'm just having a conversation, but I'll say maybe 20% of these people might be entrepreneurs. So if that's the case, that means maybe 900,000 people could easily be entrepreneurs. It could be more. Maybe half of them are entrepreneurs. I don't know. But I would love to know how many people out of this 4.5 million do you think are entrepreneurs, or people who are either doing a side hustle or probably want to own their own businesses. Because all of these 4.5 million people didn't quit just because they don't want to work. All of these people didn't quit just because they don't want to get sick. All these people didn't quit just because they got a spouse who's the breadwinner. I know that ain't true. All these people didn't quit just because they have a religious belief that they can't work in the world. Some of these people had to quit because, first of all, they just sick of it. They just tired of being controlled by some cycle or some system that seems to keep them on this, what do you call it? This wheel, like the hamster wheel, or going down a rabbit trail, and they never get to their destination. So if I had to guess, I would say probably out of 4.5 million people, maybe 900,000 of them, 20%. In my guesstimation, maybe 20% of them could be entrepreneurs. But what I do know is if 4.5 million people quit their jobs in March alone, there are probably many more millions of people who are no longer working. And out of these millions of people who are no longer working on regular 9-to-5 jobs where they clock in, a lot of these people, it may be in the millions, a lot of these people probably either have a side hustle or they probably want to start their own business. And so this is one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation today, because I'm starting to see, even with people who are becoming clients in our business, I'm starting to see more people come to business consultants like me, companies like mine, that don't necessarily have a business up and running, but they have the desire to own businesses. They have the drive to own businesses. They have the determination, and some of them have certain things that they're doing on the side. They just don't know if those things are good enough to be businesses, and even if they think they are, they don't necessarily know how to convert those side hustles into businesses. And so that's where my strengths and my core competencies come in at, because when I started my entrepreneurial journey, I started my journey just as a side hustle. All right, it was a side hustle. So when I look back at the beginning of my career, the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, it was just a side hustle, because I was at the time a W-2 employee, like most of us are. We're W-2, and let me move this over here. So I started out as a W-2 employee, where most people start out. But for me, when I was a W-2 employee, I really didn't know how to move through the stages of entrepreneurial growth. I have a specific course in my Millionaire Blueprint called The Entrepreneur's Guide to Business. It's called The Entrepreneur's Guide to Business. So for those of you that are watching the show, if in fact you are a member of our online business and financial training program called the Millionaire Blueprint, there's a course in there called The Entrepreneur's Guide to Business. And I use that particular course to teach you the stages of entrepreneurial growth, to show you that this is the progressive process that everyone has to go through if in fact they have a desire to be a legitimate business owner. Most of us start out as W-2 employees. The problem is, even while we're W-2 employees, we may find ourselves entertaining what we call today side hustles. So we entertain it. This side hustle may be some form of a 1099, where you are either a network marketer, you are a real estate agent, you are self-employed. The days you're no longer working, you're selling food items on the side. Maybe you're selling apparel. You have an online store in today's world. Maybe you're good with technology. Maybe you're a marketer or a designer. You know how to do websites. Maybe you know how to assist people, and you have like a side hustle for being a virtual assistant. Well, guess what? if whatever it is that you are thinking about doing, or the things that you may be doing, but they're not necessarily built as legitimate businesses, well, they could easily be categorized as side hustles, okay? Most people, especially when they're W-2 employees, they never go beyond the 1099. So when I talk to clients and they are W-2 employees and or 1099 independent contractors, I know the glitch that they're feeling, meaning that the problem that they're having really scaling themselves and making more money so that they can live off their business, the problem they're having is not just mentally, but the problem they're having also is structurally. So let's take a moment and think about the mental problem that a lot of people have who are stuck in the W-2 and 1099 stages. What is the mental problem? Well, the mental problem is if you've come out of the W-2 workforce, if you're one of the 4.5 million people who quit your job in March, or within the last 2 years you were working and you quit, or you're still working but in your mind you really quit. The problem is just going to 1099 as an independent contractor with a side hustle. It may feel safe to you. It may feel easier to navigate and to transition into that, but mentally it's going to keep you stuck, because if you don't think like a business owner and begin to educate and train like a business owner and understand the nuances and the responsibilities and the operations of a business owner, most likely you will be a 1099 still thinking like a W-2. And just because you get an EIN number, just because you file your paperwork for your LLC, it really doesn't mean you are a business owner. I know a lot of people who have EIN numbers, they have LLC, articles of organization, they have logos, they got corporation kits, they got domain names, they got websites, they got shirts and apparel, and guess what? Mentally, they're still W-2 employees because they have not built the muscle. They have not educated themselves to have the capacity to think like and operate like a legitimate business owner. And this is why I want to show you, how do you really move from side hustle to success story? I just believe anybody who even has the idea of starting a business probably wants to succeed. Nobody just wants to start a business to say they starting a business. A lot of people start businesses just to say they start businesses, but it doesn't mean that they want that. Most people that I have talked with that have started those businesses because they want to succeed. They want freedom. They want to be able to set their own schedules and call their own shots, and all that is good. I love it. But at the same time, your mentality has to be that of a business owner, and your mentality cannot be that of a business owner if, in fact, you are not educated and trained about business. It's just no way. That's why a lot of business owners, they still think like W-2 employees. A lot of business owners still think like 1099 independent contractors. So now I'm associating 1099 to side hustle, because if you work on a job and you're doing something on the side, even if it's a legitimate business, it's still a side hustle because it's not your main occupation. So when I talk to people and they say, well, I'm a business owner, however, I have a job. Well, you're really not a business owner. Not legitimately a business owner. And I'm saying this because I want to draw lines in the sand. I do not want you, and this is the business consultant in me, and maybe the coach too, I don't want you to trick yourself into failure because that's what you're going to do. You're going to trick yourself into failure. See, even before I owned a business, I understood the entrepreneur's guide to business. So there was a time I wouldn't even present myself as a business owner, even though I did have an LLC. You know why? Because I knew I really wasn't a business owner. I had no employees. I had no systems, no processes. It was just me and my wife. So me and my wife, we always called ourselves entrepreneurs. We were just a two-person entrepreneurial team. So even though we ran a lot of our activities through a legitimate business entity, we were really not business owners if you understand the real definition and description of a business owner. And so I'm not saying this to discourage you if in fact you're not really building a real business. I'm just saying that so that you can keep it real with yourself, so that you ain't around here tricking yourself into believing you are something you're not. Because if you do that and you're not getting the results a business owner gets, then you're going to be like, well, what's wrong with me? Well, ain't nothing wrong with you. It's just how you're operating is under a false pretense. So if you're a W-2 employee and you are operating some business activity on the side, let's put it that way. If you're operating some business activity on the side, whether that business activity is associated to a 1099 or whether it's associated to an EIN, categorically, you are still a side hustler. You are still a side hustler because you are not operating in a business owner's capacity full time with the results that a full-time business owner who's operating in that capacity will see. Can we all agree on that? Now, if we can't agree on that, it's just because you don't want to agree with me, because you've tricked yourself into believing you are a business owner when the truth is you're a glorified employee. You're just an employee with a side hustle because you have not made the transition. And so a part of the transition is mental. It's a mental transition. And you cannot mentally transition into a full-time business owner operating like that every day if you don't transition out of the type of mindset most people have when they're W-2 employees and or 1099 independent contractors. And so a W-2 employee works for someone, they clock in, and that's fine. I don't discourage employment. I think people who discourage employment are people who are not clear on what entrepreneurship and business ownership is about. So most of the time when I hear people bashing employees or employment, most of the time it's people who are 1099s. They're either network marketers or salespeople trying to sell an idea. And in order to sell the idea for people to buy their products or services or to use them, they have to bash the W-2 employee. But the truth is, if you're that person, let's say if you're a network marketer or you are a salesperson and you around here bashing people, oh, I fired my boss last year. Okay, that's cool. It sounds good in theory, but you fired your boss last year and you're still broke as a boss this year. So how is that working? Come on, it's ridiculous. So I don't go off these false pretenses because I know a lot of people lie to themselves and trick themselves into believing something that's just not true. And then here's the other thing. If you have this mentality that you're going to fire your boss, you don't need no boss, ain't nobody going to tell you what to do. The problem is your customers become your boss when you're the boss. Your clients become the boss when you're the boss. And the truth is, even if you don't feel like your customers and clients are the boss, when you are the boss, at some point you're going to have to hire the same type of person you are discouraging. Duh. So you discourage employment. Yeah, until you need an employee. Because now what if your employee comes to you and says, oh, well, you're the one that don't believe in employees, right? You said you got to quit and fire your boss. What if they keep doing that to you? Well, you're going to get what you are. And you're going to keep attracting what you are. So I just want to throw that in so that you'll understand the mentality of a W-2 employee is not the mentality of somebody who's clocking in and working as if it's something wrong with it. The mentality of a W-2 employee is from the perspective that you have a mentality that someone else assumes the final responsibility. And so even as W-2 employees, people who work for companies, or if that's where you are, you've got to start educating yourself and developing the capacity and the ability to see what you do as an employee the way the business owner sees it. So I have employees in my company, right? Okay, my employees, they know that they are employees. They have certain responsibilities. They are not the final decision makers, at least when it comes to the overall organization. It may be their department or their area or whatever. But at the same time, because we make sure that we focus on our personal plans and our professional plans and our financial plans, we think those things through as a company. That employee carries the weight of responsibility like they are a boss, or at least they should if I'm leading them right, because they know their future, their success story is tied into what we accomplish together. And because I lead my employees that way, my employees actually look at other things in my business as side hustles, as opposed to trying to go outside of the business and find something, when there are actually opportunities within the business that you can use as side hustles. So for example, if an employee wants to make some extra money, well, guess what? You can actually sell products and get a commission from that. If you make the sale, if you create the deal, close the deal and get the opportunity. But guess what that means? That means the employee, even if what they're doing is not related to sales, needs to learn how we sell. They need to understand what our process is. They need to understand how contracts work. You see what I'm saying? So the mentality of the W-2 employee has to change. And if that's where you are, even while you're doing a side hustle, it has to change. Now, let's assume you're at the 1099 level and or W-2. But if you're including a 1099, meaning that you're a network marketer, you're an independent contractor, you're self-employed, you have to start educating yourself and thinking like a business owner. So how does that look? Well, that looks like this. You need to start doing what a business owner does. I just had this conversation yesterday with one of my mentees, and they are a full-time 1099. We just had this conversation yesterday. We just set up their business structure, a legitimate business, a LLC. But in my mentoring them, I'm explaining and communicating to them the importance of them not thinking like a 1099 contractor just because they are one. You have to approach it like a business owner so that you can see where you want to go in the evolution and in the progression of this 1099. Because if you don't, then your whole life is going to be a side hustle life. And then there's never going to be an incentive for you to grow. And you're really never going to see the end. So when I talk to people and they're doing 1099 work, or they're just contractors, but they don't have a real legitimate business system and structure established, I already know at some point they're going to get bored, they're going to get discouraged, because they're going to feel like they've hit a wall. And the reason why they hit a wall, because mentally they did not transition to a business owner, but then structurally they have to. If I'm making sense, okay? So mentally, they have to, and structurally, they have to. So what do you mean by mentally and structurally? Again, W-2, then you have the 1099, independent contractor, and then you have the EIN, business owner. And so the goal is to get you from here to here, or maybe you could go from here and come all the way to here if you have the right education, if you have the right information. This is critical. See, I've had people who were not even W-2 employees. I've had people who were no employees, or on a fixed income. And they went from here because they got educated and came all the way to here as business owners, knowing exactly what to do in order to legitimize it. And how did we get them through this process? Well, we got them through this process by, first of all, educating them so that mentally they can change their perspective of what they do mentally. And the only way you're going to change mentally in your mind is if you're feeding your mind the right information. So if you're feeding yourself information based on any of these other categories outside of being a real legitimate business owner, and even if you're learning things about business, but you don't understand business ownership, so what you're learning is not about business ownership, it's never going to bring you mentally to this place. And so this is a part of education and training. This is why I'm so big on education. Like everything that I do as a coach, everything that I do as a consultant, it all ties into what I do as a trainer. So for example, if you become a client of mine, coaching client or consulting client, guess what's going to happen? A part of the program we provide for you, a part of the project we put together with you, it is going to include and require you training. We're going to direct you and recommend you to watch certain videos, to train about certain things, because it is central to your mental growth. Because if all I'm doing is just sitting down with you telling you, oh, you need a holding company, you need divisions and subsidiaries, you need an EIN, you need your articles of organization, you need an operating agreement, you need systems and processes. Well, all that stuff is good. And in theory, it is actually correct. But in practice, you've got to be able to make it happen. And if you're not mentally clear on that, you're not going to be structurally clear on that. And so in order to legitimize it structurally, after you legitimize it mentally, that means no matter if you are unemployed, fixed income, W-2 employed, 1099, or all of the above, you still need to properly start a business. So Ramon, are you saying to me, even while I'm working on a job, and even while I don't quite yet know what products and services I'm going to sell, are you saying to me, Ramon, I still need to start a business? Yes, I am. I'm saying yes, you do. Because number one, if you start a business while you are a W-2 employee or on a fixed income or unemployed, if nothing else happens with this business, your expenses are going to be ran as activities through this business, because everything that you spend to try to get the business off the ground is going to become a business expense. It's going to become a business deduction, a tax write-off. It is going to benefit your business over the long haul, and it is going to legitimize your business. The sooner you can get it started, the sooner you can start establishing credibility. So at some point when you do need a loan, at some point when you do get a line of credit, at some point when you do apply for credit cards, at some point when you are looking for certain vendor relationships or certain lines of business credit with certain companies for whatever your business or your industry is, you have started it. Now, starting it doesn't just mean to go get an EIN number and to go get a LLC from the Secretary of State. Almost everybody can do that. I mean, I don't know how many clients I talk to, and when I ask them this question, I ask them, do you own a business? Yes, I own a business. Is it an LLC? Yes, it's an LLC. Did you do it or did somebody else do it? I did it. So most people know their way around state filing portals. The problem is they don't always do it correctly. Meaning that, what do you mean by we don't do it correctly? Ain't this an LLC? Yes, it's an LLC, but when I say you don't do it correctly, you may not start your first business as a holding company, because that changes the dynamics of what you're going to be building. See, this is why you need business consultants and business coaches to help you understand these things so that you don't have to keep hitting the reset button. Now, if you're listening to me And what I'm saying to you resonates with you because you like, man, you talking my language and it's like you reading my mail. It is because I know from this side of the desk what the average entrepreneur goes through when they don't know what people like me know. And you have to get to a point that you accept the fact that there's just some things I don't know. And some things I don't know until somebody who knows tells me what they know and I realize I don't know it, right? And so you've got to get to a point mentally that you accept that there are people available to you that can actually help you shorten the time of your trials and errors. You don't have to go through trials and errors. Why do you have to go through something somebody else went through, overcame, created an easier way to overcome it, and now you're just going through it for the sake of saying you went through it? That's fine if that's what you want to do. But when you're 92 years old, or when you're at the end of your life and you realize, wow, I could have saved 38 years had I just mentally accepted that there were people who can help me. And I know that's hard if you're like me, because I'm a strong-willed person. I'm an alpha male. I like to be in control all the time. And I got my own ego issues too, right? But there are certain things that I have even had to come to learn that I don't need to go through a 3-year process of learning. When I'm in a position to run a business as a business owner, I can bring somebody on my team to work with me and to be a part of my team who already has that 3-year training window that I need to go through wrapped up. So I could just get the gist of it, understand the fundamentals of it, and then we can work together to make it happen. So that's what people like me do for entrepreneurs like you. You bring me in as a coach or a consultant. You join a program, or as a consulting client, you become a client where we put a project together. We determine the time it's going to take. We determine what all resources and tools and solutions you need. We put it together, and then I become a part of your team, or my company becomes a part of what you're doing. That's how you accelerate yourself and start getting to your success story. Because if you want to go from side hustle to success story, you got to get out of this zone. You got to get out of these stages. And you first got to get out of them mentally. Mentally, you got to make the decision, I want to be a business owner. And if you say you want to be a business owner, just having an EIN number or doing 1099 work or being a W-2 employee with something you're doing on your days off or when you get off work, that is not being a business owner. Because being a business owner is not being somebody who has an EIN number or LLC, article of organization, and a bank account. Being a business owner is being someone who has gone through the entrepreneurial stages of growth from just an idea, an employee, a 1099, a side hustler, to becoming a legitimate entrepreneur, because that's another stage, just being an entrepreneur, knowing how to make exchanges in the marketplace, knowing how to talk and communicate, knowing how to sell and market, knowing how to make transactions and close deals, then putting a body around that, a body of systems, a body of processes, a body of people, so that you can really be a legitimate business owner. So that's going to be the mental side. And then structurally means you've got to file and form your paperwork. I always recommend a holding company. Even if you have another business that is an operating business, then that means you're going to just need 2 businesses if you want to do it the right way the first time and not have to keep going back, repeating and reset it. And there's some people that don't agree with that philosophy. But so what? Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. But you can't tell that to JCPenney. JCPenney has it that way. You can't tell it to JP Morgan. And I know some people say, yeah, but when they first started, they didn't start like that. Duh, because they didn't have the data. They didn't have the information. They didn't have the intelligence. They didn't have all of the things that we have access to. So they scrapped it out. They went through the same process until they built empires. But now that they built them, we don't have to go through the same process they went through in the 1850s. We can look at their success stories and skip the side hustle and say, you know what? I'm not going to go through this whole side hustle phase. I'm going to go from what I know I want to do in my ideas mentally And I'm going to go right to getting it done the right way structurally, because I actually have people who are in professional positions like Ramon Preston who can help me put it together the right way the first time. And I can eliminate all that time in between of scratching my head, giving up, being disappointed, being frustrated, hitting brick walls, not seeing blind spots. You can move all that out the way. And that's what I want you to do, okay? So mentally, you've got to transition there. Structurally, you've got to transition there. And when you transition there mentally and structurally, then you can transition operationally. And so in order to transition there operationally, in order for you to do this now, guess what's going to have to happen? You're going to have to put a body around this thing you call a business. The body is the systems, the processes. And so there's a whole entire A to Z, step-by-step regimen that I provide for my clients and for my students and for the people that I work with on a day-to-day basis, because you have to get to a point to where you understand, if mentally you are a business owner and you know that's where you want to be, and you do the work so that structurally you can be the business owner. You start it the right way, you file it, you form it, you have your holding company, you take your ideas, you drop them in your holding company. It's research and development. You figure out which ones could be products and services. You price them, you package them, you present them to the market, you support them or complement them with the right systems and processes for sales, for marketing, for day-to-day operations, for your finances. Once you put that body around it, you go from mental, structural to operational. And now, guess what? You are starting the process of becoming a real, legitimate business owner. And so I want to extend an invitation to you, a special invitation to you. I have a special invitation to you. First of all, the invitation is for you to join me for one of my upcoming Millionaire Masterminds. It's a 4-hour live event that I'm going to be hosting. And I want to provide for you and extend to you a free invitation. In order for you to get this invitation, you need to reach out to me so that we can RSVP you and reserve your seat for you to be a part of this upcoming Millionaire Mastermind. It's going to be a 4-hour event, absolutely free. And during this 4-hour event, I'm going to be talking to you about holding companies. I'm going to be talking to you about divisions, subsidiaries. I'm going to be talking to you about your position as a business owner, a CEO. I'm going to be talking about your products, your services, how to take your ideas and convert them into products and services, how to price them, how to package them, how to present them. We're going to be talking about sales a little bit, marketing a little bit. We'll be talking about financial systems a little bit, operations, and how all those systems need to be complemented with processes. And so if you would like to have us in-house reserve your seat for this event, all you have to do is text the word VIP to 404-478-7213. Okay, so that's the first offer that I want to extend to you. It's a free VIP ticket to one of our upcoming Millionaire Masterminds. This is going to be an amazing event. I host a lot of different events throughout the year, not just for my clients, but also for those who are a part of our business community. And this is one of those events that I am extending to our business community, whether you are a member of any of our programs or not. All you would have to do is text the word VIP to 404-478-7213, and we will secure your seat and your spot for our upcoming Millionaire Mastermind. Now, my second offer is for those of you who are pretty much at one of those places that I just talked about. Maybe you're one of the 4.5 million people who quit your job in March. Maybe you quit your job within the last 2 years since the pandemic. Perhaps you're still working, but in your mind, mentally you quit. So let's say if mentally you check the box, but structurally and operationally, you haven't been able to check the box in terms of legitimizing your side hustle, making what you think you want to do make sense. Well, sometimes all it takes is for you to sit down with a business coach and a consultant and allow them to help you flesh those things out. Most of the times when I sit down with clients and they don't have an idea where to start and what to do, within the time frame of that one session, we are able to flesh out probably 80 to 90% of what they were confused about. The other 10 to 20% is all about infrastructure, some systems and processes that we can build over time. This is one of the reasons why I created my Millionaire Mentorship program. It's a 1-year accelerated business consulting and coaching program. And so what I've done is I've taken the most important components of my coaching, my consulting, and my online training for business and finance, and I've condensed it into this 1-year program to, number one, give you enough time from start to finish to make sure that you can build a successful business system. And number two, to give you an opportunity to learn, to develop, to be coached by me, to have support from my team and a community of people who are on their journey from side hustle or no hustle to success story. Now, this 1-year Millionaire Mentorship program, it comes with one-on-one coaching sessions. It comes with weekly coaching calls that we host every Monday. It comes with 1 year full access to our online Millionaire Blueprint, which is our online business and financial training program. It also comes with workshops. So we host regular workshops that train you on the nuts and bolts of sales, marketing, financial systems like QuickBooks, and operational systems. We literally show you how to go from mentally being a business owner to structurally being a business owner to operationally being a business owner. And throughout this 1-year business coaching program, you learn a lot about yourself as a CEO. You learn a lot about how you should position yourself as a CEO, how to build your organizational enterprise from the holding company to on the top, all the way to maybe an apparel company at the bottom. We show you everything in between. There's nothing that I've accomplished as a successful business owner, and I can say that with pride because I am a successful business owner. And guess what? I started from the bottom, from below the bottom. And it took me years because I didn't have someone like me. Now, it doesn't mean that it wasn't someone like me that existed. There were millions of millionaires and billionaires when I started. It's just that 18 years ago, when my wife and I started our entrepreneurial journey, I honestly really didn't even know that coaching and consulting existed, that you could just pay someone and you can hire them to help you. For some reason, it just didn't resonate with me. Maybe it was because I was so committed to the church. I was a preacher. I'm still a preacher. And I was like really involved and engaged with church life. So even though me and my wife were doing business, it was really a side hustle. We were just doing what we needed to do to pay the bills because we really wanted to do ministry. We wanted to serve people. We wanted to preach. We wanted to love on people, and we wanted to see people saved. I mean, that's the way life was for us. And we had to grow as entrepreneurs into becoming legitimate business owners, but I've been able to do it and succeed in it. And I have not only a track record, but I've documented that track record and put that documented track record in a package so that it can be easier for you. And that's why I know within any 1 year window, I can help take anybody from zero to being a legitimate business owner. As a matter of fact, I'll say this before I give you the word to text. If you want to be a part of my Millionaire Mentorship program, if you want to join, we can get you signed up, get you onboarded immediately. You can be a part of an amazing community. You'll get me and my team. We have concierges that work with all of our clients on a regular basis so that you can call, text, email. You're going to get calls, texts, and emails. We are building a strong, sustainable, successful community of people who want to live millionaire lives. They want to make six figures and beyond in their business and be free to do it. And we're showing them how to do it because I'm giving you my personal blueprint. So if it worked for me, if you work it and you have the support with me and my team with you, there's no reason why you won't see the results. Even if you don't see 100% of the results. I mean, think about it. If I have $1 million company, if you just see 10% of the results I saw because you duplicated the same principles and processes, well, you have a six-figure business, which, by the way, is not that difficult when you understand the things that I now understand, because I've been making six figures. So I want you to text the word millionaire if you're ready. And you should be ready because you've already checked the mental box. You already know you're a business owner. You want to be a business owner. You around here playing as a side hustler. You around here goofing off and you like, man, I want to succeed. I want to do better. So you just need to check the structure box, get your business structured the right way, get your holding company set up, get your divisions and subsidiaries set up, and then the operation. You need to get your operations right. So that means you got to learn about sales systems and processes, marketing systems and processes, operational day-to-day systems and processes, and also financial systems and processes. And so we teach you all these things. We work with you on all these things. We give you workshops. We give you online courses. We give you tutorials. We give you the documents, the forms. We give you the one-on-one coaching. We give you the community of people who are actually doing it. And so here's my story I want to share with you. It's actually a success story from someone who didn't start as a side hustler. They actually started with no job on a fixed income. So yesterday, I'm conducting a consultation over the phone with one of our newly enrolled students on our Millionaire Blueprint, okay? And so during the consultation, this individual was referred to us by a dear friend. And so the individual was telling me that they had been referred to me some time ago. But you know how most people do. They got to sit back, they got to watch, they got to see how things are going. And for them, what they did was they watched the person who referred me to them. And so they were watching this person and they was like, I'm going to see what's going on with this person to see if what they're learning is going to change. Because this person was in our Millionaire Blueprint on our online program, and then they moved up to become clients in our coaching program. But this person within the last year went from, once they started our coaching program, they went from no job, fixed income, to owning a holding company, getting their licenses for insurance. I mean, they just started excelling and growing. And the person I talked with yesterday, who is newly enrolled in our online program, was saying, I saw the success in the person. I saw how they were changing as a person. They changed mentally. Their business has changed. We didn't even know they had a business. They got a business. And then they're doing these things within their business, operating. And so that may be where you are. And you just been waiting to find people or someone that you can resonate with, you can get in alignment with, you can connect with. I would love to have an opportunity to speak with you. So if you text the word millionaire to this number, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. We're going to reach back out to you. And of course, thank you. Congratulate you for even reaching out to us, because you texting this number says a lot about where you are mentally. We know that. My team and I, we know that. For you to even reach out after watching a show or hearing us somewhere. And we're going to just take a few minutes to help assess what you want to do. Over the phone, we'll do this. And once we're able to help assess your situation, to identify with what you want to accomplish, what some of the roadblocks you may have in front of you with regard to succeeding in your business, we will share with you information about our programs. As I mentioned earlier on the show, we have 5 signature programs. So it's not like every program works for everybody, but we have created programs to give you an opportunity to find where you can fit in that criteria and work your way up. So whether it's our online training program, you may start there just to start educating yourself, training, developing the mental muscle for business and finance, and becoming more familiar with these concepts and developing a better relationship with money. And at some point you may move up into our mentorship program, where now you're getting the training, plus you're getting the coaching, you're getting the weekly sessions, you're getting the workshops, and that is going to continue to help you grow. Perhaps you're already in a space where maybe the coaching is not something you necessarily need. Well, we have a certification program. If you're a coach and a consultant, but you just don't quite know how to build your coaching business, you don't really know how to monetize it, you don't know how to create a process for how are you going to acquire clients, how are you going to onboard them, how are you going to service them, you don't really know what your products are or what your services need to be made up of. We have an entire business coaching and consulting certification program where we certify you. And I'm not going to certify you until I know you are absolutely, positively, adequately trained as a coach and a consultant. That's how much I can guarantee we're going to train you. Okay. So if you're a coach and a consultant, you need training. Maybe you don't want the coaching and consulting training, but you just need me and my team as consultants to work with you on maybe your structure. Maybe you just have some glitches in some of your systems. You need your business to operate and function a little bit better. Maybe you have 1 or 2 people working with you, assisting you, and you can't quite put that operational system together the right way. Well, we have a program called the Business Incubator. We literally sit down with you and work with you on your structure, work with you integrating and configuring your systems and processes the same way I've done it for me. See, this is the good part about me. I can take everything that I've done and show you how you can build a $1 million company without blinking, without capping. I can do that because I've done it and I'm doing it. At some point, I'll be able to sit down with you, hopefully before this year is out, and show you how to do the same thing with an 8-figure, multi-million-dollar company. That would be at least 10 million, because that's my next goal. At some point, I'll be able to do it with 9 at 100. At some point, I'll be able to do it with 10 at $1 billion. But guess what? At least I know I can show you the structure, the systems, the processes, and of course the mental side. I got that, and the operational side. So wherever you are in your personal life, in your professional life, and financial life, we have a program to work with you. And if you're not quite there, but you know where you want to be, you can always move up in that ecosystem. That's why we've created the business ecosystem that we have. So please feel free to text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. For all of you ladies out there that are watching me, or that are watching this video, even if we're not live anymore, I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. Whether you are a biological mother, whether you are a spiritual mother, whether you are a mother figure and you play that role and you assume that responsibility, happy Mother's Day to you. Without you, there will be no me's. So on behalf of all of the amazing children in the world that you all have served and have groomed and reared, I want to say happy Mother's Day to you. We love you. Please have an extraordinary Mother's Day, and we will be back here next week, Monday. That will be the 9th, Monday the 9th, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, with more powerful information to help you start, structure, and scale your businesses, your ministries, your income streams, and your wealth building dreams. Until Monday, I love you. Happy Mother's Day to all of you beautiful ladies. And I'll see you next time right here on the Ramon Preston Show. Peace.